I'm here just to moderate this fantastic opportunity where you guys have the opportunity to chat with Nadin, who I'll invite with me here on stage, please. Will you join me up here, together with Henrik? And Anna and Aurora, you guys are hopefully online, and who knew tech would be tricky. But all in all, we'll sure get through this. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. We have Ivan here in the audience behind with a microphone stick, I suppose that would be called. And we have Ben online going through the chat who will happily mention the questions for you. And just to kick things off, again, I want to emphasize, as Henrik said, the power women of tech, quote unquote, is pretty phenomenal to have a group of women correlated, collected here to be able to share a little bit of their stories. We heard a bit about how Nadin kind of went from the non-tech into tech development, which I think was really interesting. And also the two ladies here online. Anna, I'm actually going to start with you on this one. How did you get into tech?
Good question. I studied philology, English, in fact, at the university, so nothing to do with technology. I started working for a software company 25 years ago, and I just had to learn. Then I moved to customer service like 2 years ago in that same Untitled company. And well, I learned about customer experience, customer service from a technological point. So very much about resetting, and you know.
Yes, and it's a lagging a little bit, Anna, so I'm just going to refrain, but 25 years of experience within tech is simply amazing. And Aurora, the question goes on to you. How did you get started?
Well, I started when I had my own online store. It was around 2015, around. So yeah, it was kind of a marketplace in my country, and I don't only sold my products. I sold products from small brands that don't have any tech channel, any online channel. So yeah, I give them their space to reach more people and stuff like that. So while having this, of course, I have to find some tech solutions for the e-commerce that I had. So yeah, for example, for the customer service part, also for the email marketing part and stuff like that. And yeah, and besides that, I had some clients that had e-commerce. So of course, I start to use a lot of platforms. I use a lot of tech platforms that, for example, allow to help them grow. And after that, we had Webmefy, and here I am. Nowadays, I work with different platforms to.
Oh, and the sound jumped again, unfortunately. We'll get right back to you, Aurora. Thank you so much. And then let me jump over to you, Nadine, for the expected question, of course. If with all this development and your experience from a non-tech perspective and the learnings there, if you had to redo it, how would you do it?
Actually, I had to redo it because I was stupid enough not to listen to the professionals at certainly. So I built the bot, but I was so afraid to put it live before it was actually perfect. So I trained and spent all my time on it, and then it went live, and then sorry my language, it totally fucked up. And it couldn't answer the questions, and when people were asking how do I return, it says, no, we don't have that size, so it was really bad. And then I started again, training, put it online, had to put it offline one more time, and then I thought, okay, now I'm going to listen actually to what they are saying. And they said, start small with one theme, let it be online, learn from the mistakes, learn the language why is it not working, and then adjust after the time. So, and then it worked.
And then it worked, fantastic. Yeah. And when talking about the development aspect of things, Aurora, this question's for you. What was the largest challenge at developing this platform, in your opinion?
It was quite easy. For example, the part of the building all of the flows that the bot can be able to understand and answer all of the different cases. Also, the NLU training was easy as well. The most challenging part, I think not for all platforms, but yeah, was with the integration of third-party platforms, because we have to change information that the bot can be able to give information to users when they ask for. So I say that not for all, because you had in the bot the webhooks, so it was easy just to copy and paste a script in some of the platforms. But for example, in the NPS platform, there was a specific requirement from Siksilk that they need that people who left a review about the services, we can identify where they come from, the country and stuff like that. So that specific thing was the most challenging thing that the entire development of the bot. So yeah, that's what can I tell about that.
Well, thank you. And again, please let us know if you have a question. We have one online, I believe.
Yes, we have one online, and it comes from David, and it's directed to you, Nadine, of how long did it take you to go from no tech experience to be comfortable with the Certainly bot? If you could have put a time frame on it, what would you say?
Oh, I felt that I was really good after one day workshop with Certainly, and I think all the technical part was actually not the problem. It was just the questions that I was training the bot with that was the problem. So I think I wasn't an expert from day one, but working with it every day just makes you an expert, because it's a really, really easy platform. And if I can build a bot, I really mean it, then everybody can build a bot, because I'm really not good at it. But I am good at it. So yeah, time frame, I don't know. If you train it a little bit every day, I think you will be an expert really, really fast.
Thank you for that response, Nadine. And we've got another one from Jacob here of how do you balance between having a helpful bot asking questions while hovering and having an intruding bot? So this is maybe a question for you here, Henrik.
Well, that's a very good question, and I think you should think of it as you do when you're in a physical store. So the good salesperson there will help you out if you need to, right? So you can be proactive and say, hey, can I help you? And then you could say, no, I'm just browsing. And then that person would not come and intervene unless there's specific signals that said, well, maybe this person needs additional help. And that could, for example, in Siksilk's example, that could be so once you're on checkout, if you're there spending a long time, maybe it's a good idea to then pop up and say, hey, it's actually okay to buy something here, or do you have any questions? So it is a balance. Of course, you don't want, like in the store, you don't want someone in your face at all times saying, hey, how can I help you? How can I help you? How can I help you? It's too much, right? So it is important to find that balance.
But you will also find out really fast, because we had it. Like, we were just interacting again and again, and then we just had too many feedbacks or chats ending with, you're so annoying, go away, and things like that. So you know immediately, okay, I have to change it. It needs to stop interacting with the customer if they said no once on some web shops.
And one of the great things we actually heard during the customer stories here is from you, Anna, where you as Chief Experience Officer have to have a focus on the conversion rates and the sales aspect, but as well as the customer service. So how do you ensure you have a broader focus on both areas and not one over the other?
For me, it's the same. Finally, it's the customer. There's no difference if my customer is going to buy or if he has a problem. We need to treat our customer in exactly the same way, with the same care, with the same attention. So there's no difference in the focus. The focus is always customer 100%. And in one of the situations, of course, it's going to try to help the customer during the purchase. And afterwards, probably the purchase has not gone well, or there's a bit of a problem with any of the items he has purchased. And we will be there waiting for them and trying to help. But just one focus, and the focus is customer with capital letters.
Fantastic. And the story of Mello going across your channels and connecting the loyalty while supporting the
Yeah.
conversion is truly amazing.
Yeah.
There's some great KPIs that have been mentioned during today. CSAT, NPS is going on here. We also talked about cart abandonment. Average order size, I believe, was the phrasing. Then my question comes to you, Mr. CEO.
Oh,
How do we utilize these great KPIs and focus points to improve?
well, I think that's the only way, right? So if we don't help our customers solve those challenges which they have identified, well, this is really important for us, then we cannot. So we have to focus on helping them with these and understanding and provide them the tools to then build the use cases that are unique to them, of course, and then being able to measure it, right? So you can have your bot as an example. You can have it as part of your Google Analytics. So you can all the events, everything that's going on in the bot, you can have in Google Analytics, so it becomes part of your flow. So you can actually help understand. So I think a big part of our role is to provide the opportunity, the tools for then the brands to then be innovative and creative, and then go and build it, and then we support them in any way we can.
And getting access to that data and being able to react to it.
Exactly, and access to data and the zero-party data. That one is to help power the engine and do more conversation, but you can also, like I said during my keynote, you can combine it with your CRM system. You can use it for retargeting. You can use it to enhance your recommendations. It's about connecting all these things.
Connection. I completely agree. And we at that
Yeah,
point,
I think we have one more question from the crowd.
Hi, this is Peter. I was thinking, and it's to Aurora and Anna, because you're using influencers a lot with Siksilk, and I was thinking maybe you have the thought already, but having Mello becoming an influencer could be really smart and use the technology for answering questions when the Mello influencer on Instagram is engaged with questions regarding sizes. Then using the technology, this influencer could always answer, because the regular influencers you have wouldn't be able to answer size questions, of course. So that's just an idea.
Thank you very much. I think Mello is still a baby because we launched him in November, but he's growing so fast that maybe soon we will have a Mello influencer besides having a Mello and Friends, a Mello Health Center. Mello is going to be everywhere. Thank you. Thank you so much. Nice.
Can I have one question?
of course.
As all of you three ladies are extremely experienced now with chatbots, what is the one tip that you're going to give to a person who's just starting? And it's to all of you, and I think each one of you can give one tip.
And why don't we start offline first? So Nadine, if you want to answer first.
One tip you said, right?
It could be a few if they're good.
Yeah. I would say that not be afraid to put it online when it's a baby, and then just learn from the answers you get and analyze everything that is coming in and then adjusting. If you do that, it will be amazing really fast. That was my huge mistake. So I think that would be my tip, to not do that mistake.
Beautiful. Aurora, the question to you.
Yeah, my tip is to test a lot. Test from if you have a group in your company or in your company, put that group of people to test every time. So in that way you can find the different type of sentences that the user may ask the same specific case. So in that way you can train the bot to learn a lot and make more natural to for the user. And in that way, you're going to be more. You're going to have a bot very wisely at the end.
Cool. Anna.
My tip is like humanize it. I mean, make it the image of your company. So if you are a young, fast-moving company like Funky and so on, make it funky. If you are serious, you have serious bot. And if you know your audience better than anyone. So target your audience and talk their language. I mean, it's super important that the bot speaks the same language as the customer. In our case, it's like 20-something funky people, so our bot sometimes tries to be funny, but he's learning a lot also about that. But yes, humanize it would be my suggestion.
And that brings me a question back to Henrik, actually.
Oh.
So how do we help enable that? How do we help them improve and develop more quickly?
Well, that's a good question.
Certainly.
Thank you. Certainly. I think underneath what they're saying here is a desire to be able to work with their bot and get the data in, so then they're in control of how they're going to utilize that data to improve the bot. I think that's really important. So it's not a black box. You actually know what's going on, so you can take charge and do that. And again, the integration bit that Aurora said, really focusing on making it easy to integrate and exchange the data between what comes in and the different systems that we have, so you can actually enhance the tech stack that you use today. I think that's really important. And then the last bit is, this is very different from what you usually do online, like a website, UX, copywriting for a website. Suddenly you need to understand what drives a conversation. So that's why having in mind that kind of salesperson is really interesting. And then understanding, depending on, like I said, same Henrik, different needs. I'm there shopping because I need something for my girlfriend tomorrow, otherwise I'll be dead. That's a different need than I'm buying this cool shirt so I can have it on here, right? So understanding that and then changing the conversation, adapting to that, I think is really, really important. And that's part of the stuff that we're working towards.
I completely agree. And
thank you for that.
Well, luckily, right?
Yeah.
And with that, we have a few minutes left, and yes, a question online.
We still have a few questions online, and this is a really good one from Matt. Where do you think it has the most impact to introduce conversational commerce? In the products, the checkouts, the aftercare, support, or somewhere else? What would be your experience, Nadin, Henrik, on this and people online?
Definitely the products. On the product page, that's where people interfere with the bot the most. We also see, of course, in the checkout, but it's without any doubt the product side. If we can get the bot to help the customer before they make the purchase, then we can add on stuff. No, we can help them find the right size, find the right product, the right outfit, everything. So yes, product.
Great answer. And we have another one of, do you have an integration with Shopify? And I believe that it is yes, because Siksilk operates on Shopify.
Which actually, let's take a question back, because I think this is a good opportunity for you again, Anna, to kind of talk about your prioritization. So do you agree with Nadine on this, and that the product would be the great first step?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, and basically, yes, sizing is vital, at least for us, you know. We ship everything free, so the less mistakes we make, the better for the business. And it's not only about increasing the average order value, which is also very important, but sizing, it's vital. And yes, I agree 100%.
Phenomenal. And then let's take this Shopify question now that we have you.
The Shopify, yes, it works perfectly.
Fantastic answer.
Can I say, because Shopify is a huge platform, so of course we need to be there as well. So yeah, we integrated, and Shopify with their approach with helping small businesses but also large enterprises, that's a perfect fit for our kind of technology. So a big fat yes to that.
Great, thank you, Henrik. And we have one more here as well of, what about scalability? How does the bot handle conversations during online sales or clearance events, let's say Black Friday or Christmas or whenever you have events? How does the bot deal with that in your experience?
Great, because I trained it too. So
Yeah, Melo is training too for those special dates as well. So if user is looking for any discount, what I mentioned before, they invite to subscribe to the newsletter. So it's going to be the first to know about all of the promotions in Black Friday that they are limited time. So yeah, they are trained as well.
They cover peak seasons.
Yeah, and I think it's a great question because it's about variation in demand, the chats, requests, customer visits, and how that changes. And we have to be able to adapt to that. So once you build it in once, then it can answer the same thing next time there's Black Friday, etc. So all these different things that come in that we know, Black Friday is coming, but hey, COVID, we didn't know everyone was going home and staying home for a year. That's something that you can respond and react to very fast. And that's a big part of the promise of and the use case of our technology.
Phenomenal. Yes, from the audience.
We have more questions from the audience, and as you can see, we're corona friendly. So I would like also to see more people participate from you guys.
No, Ivan, you misunderstood me. I didn't actually have a question, but I could ask a question.
I'm sure.
Because I think now having the look at the chatbot doing the pre-sales, do you see there's still a need for a chatbot for the whole customer journey? Is it still also the good old-fashioned customer care that will be in focus, or what will happen with that?
And Anna, I'm going to point that question to you.
Yes, thank you. Yes, of course. I mean, it's very different the moment when the chatbot is helping you choose your size, the right size, and when you expect your item to be shipped, but it's not arriving and you have no communication, and then you go and ask Melo, and Melo gives you the tracking number, and it says, it's arriving tomorrow, relax, slow down, everything's going fine. So it's a very different situation. This one is handled by the customer care personality of Melo, and the other one is on the shop. So both of them are still necessary, much necessary, I think.
Yeah, and that brings into the angle of what's next and what kind of the future is looking like. And to help us out a little bit, I'm going to invite a friend on stage, if I may. So I'd like to invite Dario Rodriguez, our other co-founder and CTO, who might have a little something to share.
Well, hello everyone. I'm here to talk a little bit about the future, and I'm going to give you a small glimpse of our roadmap for the rest of the year and probably next year as well. And let's just move to my slides. Actually, I'm very glad that I'm the last one, because I've been listening to all of you, and you're talking about some of the bullets that we are going to cover in the next month. So it's really nice to see how we are addressing already the needs and pains that you're facing today. I'm going to talk about 3 areas. First area is better UX. We want to focus on UX for all our different segments. We want better UX for business people. You see, we have some examples here. They are able already to build complex bots not from day one, but then along the way, that baby grows and becomes a nice and complex solution. And better UX for business people, it means we are developing and prototyping already some new widgets that are interacting with the website, not only the way we've seen today, even more and disrupting a little bit what we think today that the website is. And we are also providing better reporting tools. As we have already mentioned earlier before, measuring is key. And it's important to measure success, measure performance, be aware of what is working, what is not working, so we can address that faster. So better metrics, better KPIs, addressing conversions, or addressing different user profiles is something that we're going to be adding. Then we are, of course, also caring for the developers. And for developers, they usually are more into the integration part of things, looking for different APIs or SDKs, integrating the solution in mobile applications, in different scenarios. So we have APIs for driving the conversation programmatically if they want to, or interfering after a checkout payment, for example. The bot will confirm everything is okay. Things like that are also something that we're going to improve. Then our third key segment is the partners. We have Webmefy here today, and of course we want to make better solutions for them, improving scalability and maintenance. In mind, some of these agencies, they handle 20, 50 bots, and it's sometimes a hassle for them to keep them on spot. So the solutions that we are developing today will allow this type of scalability and maintenance in a much simpler way. Then second area I want to show you guys is our AI engine. We are building a new AI engine, which algorithms will require some data. Obviously, we need to train our bots with data, conversational data, but not all data is needed. It's important that we only care about the right data. And we see, and very big models are around in the industry where you just dump all Wikipedia or data about a lot of things that are, of course, relevant and gives you some funny conversations. But here we are talking business, and we are talking about conversions and improve the top line, and we're catering our algorithms to make sure that the data that we need is easy to label, easy to consume, and easy to train. Another improvement, of course, is that we are enhancing and extending our pool of knowledge domains. Of course, we have a good focus on e-commerce, and that will only grow. And we're going to also add more languages, and we're going to add different intentions and entities, so that data is there, ready to be picked up. Any customer will be able to select and connect it to the bots without having to prepare any data. Of course, if they have their own data, even better. They can put it on top, and then the bot will cater specifically their needs. But we offer already a big pool of data, and that data set will only increase. Yes, continuous learning. You've been discussing about this before, about how the bot has to learn from being a baby and becoming an adult. How that path is taken today is very much manual about learning about the KPIs, reports, and then going and fixing. We are building some engines that will be able to suggest labels, suggest some new training data based on the collected conversations that the bot has had. So the training becomes easy. You just need to say, okay, this is the data I want to add, and the bot should know about this because it happened in a conversation yesterday. So you just click, and then that will be retrained and added to the bot. And also about reinforced learning is a matter. For example, if we talk about conversions in e-commerce, every path or every flow, conversation flow that leads to a conversion should be rated higher and weighted higher in future conversations, so the bot knows which flows, which answers lead to the right outcome. And that's a very, very important aspect of this engine. And then third area, which is also tapping into the AI algorithms and logic that we are working on, is our new dialogue manager. Dialogue manager is pretty much the brain behind the scenes, and is the engine that we have to take decisions and address the right answer to the right intention. And when we're talking about intentions, our users or your users or customers, they sometimes not only have one intention, they have different needs. I want to return this product, but by the way, I also want to buy this other one. Or I'm looking for this, but the sizing is not clear. Different needs, and that can be fixed or improved by adding some better context management. So the bot will be able to jump from this context to a completely different question, which is just a standalone question that the bot will fix, and then we're back to where you were going. Basically, we are back to the checkout step or any other main conversation that you had. Another thing that we are working on is this slot filling, which is tapping again into these goal-oriented bots. Some very, very common use case could be bots that are on the pre-sales phase, and those will be rewarded by conversions. These bots are here just to increase revenue, and then that could be one of the main goals. So defining a goal and making sure that the bot is able to collect all the different slots or questions, to ask the right questions for converting, is also something that we are facilitating and making sure that is way easier to accomplish in our platform. Also, multi-language. You've been mentioning it a little bit, that nowadays you want to increase the pool of languages that your bot supports. We already have bots with several languages. Well, the guys from Siksilk already mentioned, but I know, for example, Casper has 6-7 languages live, different bots, we have that. But of course, it is a time-consuming phase to prepare data for all those languages, and we are just rethinking the concept about that, and this live translation and different elements that we will include in the new dialogue manager, and that is that from design, the bot will be able to cover different languages, as many as you want to enable. And that's it. These are the 3 areas that I wanted to mention. There are many more. There are other things that we are, of course, also tapping into, but those will come probably in another session, maybe later this year, who knows. And yeah, I want to hand it over to, I guess, Bea.